but one of the most iconic dirt tracks in the world here. And as you can see here at the Terre Action Track, it's a lot different weather than we've had for most of Nothing to Drink Indiana Sprint Week, presented by Honest Abe Roofing. It's nice and cool. It almost feels like we're racing in the Arctic compared to the last days where it was super hot, super humid. So really glad to be joining you from a nice and cool Terre Action Track for night 6 of Nothing to Drink Indiana Sprint Week, presented by Honest Abe Roofing. Without further ado, let's take a look at your point standings heading into tonight. We'll start off with our season-long AMSOIL USAC National Sprint Car Championship point standings headed into tonight's round at the Terre Action Track. Kyle Cummins continues to lead the way with 1,882 points. Justin Grant still in second. He once again is not here tonight. He currently sits 189 points behind Cummins at the lead. Mitchell Moles is third. He's 198 points behind. Logan Seavey fourth. Briggs Danner currently rounding out your top 5. Kevin Thomas Jr., after his podium run last night, jumps up to 6th, while Robert Ballou falls down to 7th. Jake Swanson 8th, CJ Leary 9th, and Cale Drake rounding out your top 10. Over to your NOS Energy Drink Indiana Sprint Week, presented by Honest Abe Roofing points. Briggs Danner leads the way with 283 points. Kevin Thomas Jr., we talked about last night, has been having a very quiet but consistent Indiana Sprint Week. He's currently just 7 markers behind Danner after his podium run last night at Circle City. Logan Seavey is third, 8 points behind. A bit of a 3-car breakaway at the moment, as Mitchell Moles is currently fourth, 50 points behind. Robert Ballou rounds out the top 5, 54 behind Danner. Then it's Jake Swanson, Gunnar Setzer, CJ Leary, who after his win last night at Circle City into the top 10 when it comes to Indiana Sprint Week points. Kyle Cummins 9th, and Hayden Reinbold rounding out your top 10. Over to our Dirt Draft driver matchup on the evening. Troy Carey, last night's winner, going to go up against Briggs Danner. As I said, Carey, not only last night's winner, but he's won a few of these rounds now, so he's feeling pretty good heading into the Terre Action Track. His opposition tonight, Briggs Danner, and I will make note of this now. Those two are actually pitted next to each other, and they made their Dirt Draft picks at the same time, so there's a good amount of trash talking going on between those two when it came to the Dirt Draft side of things. We'll start off with Troy Carey. He's on the left-hand side of your screen at USAC Driver 1. He has chosen Briggs Danner, Gunnar Setzer, Charles Davis Jr., Braden Cromwell, and Brandon Maddox. And as I said, Danner, his opposition tonight, you can find post-race in the public lobby at USAC Driver 2. Briggs has chosen himself, Chase Stockton, Joey Mintia, Braden Cromwell, and Troy Carey. Reminder, you can play against the USAC drivers when you sign up in the public lobby with our friends over at Dirt Draft. Make sure to lock in your lineup before the start of heat race number 1. Well, there's always stories during Indiana Sprint Week, but a lot of history on the line for one driver in particular tonight. That, of course, is Chase Stockton. If everything goes to plan, he will be making his 500th career start with the AMSOIL USAC National Sprint Car Championship. An incredible feat. So incredible that, like I said, if he makes the feature and things are going to go to plan for him tonight, he'll only be the 4th person in USAC National Sprint Car Championship history to make 500 or more starts. Simply impressive for the former USAC Ironman. Also worth noting, Kyle Cummins, too, your current USAC national points leader. If he makes the feature event tonight, that will be start 300 in his career as well. So cool numbers on the line for those two drivers here when it comes to Indiana Sprint Week and the overall history of the United States Auto Club. Let's take a look at Run a Show tonight for the USAC National Sprint Car Championship during night 6 of NOS Energy Drink Indiana Sprint Week. Engine heat ready to go on here in just a few moments. From there, we'll go to our Dirt Draft hot laps. From there, Honest Abe Roofing, 2 laps for each driver out on the speedway. Of course, those 2 laps, probably the 2 most important laps a lot of these drivers will turn all night. Over to our heat races tonight. There are, I believe, still going to be 4 heat races scheduled to go for the USAC National Sprint Cars. And then our Elliott's Custom Trailers and Karts Semi feature on top from there. Top 4 will go straight into the feature event from there. Then it's 30 laps for the AMSOIL USAC National Sprint Car Championship on night number 6 now of Indiana Sprint Week. Like I said, one of the most iconic, but also one of the coolest dirt tracks you'll see anywhere in the world. The Terre Action Track welcomes the world's best once again for Indiana Sprint Week.
Indeed, thank you very much. As track work is finishing up here, we've got one of the water trucks, the actual mister out there, rolling in the racing surface with the wide footprint of the tires on that machine, helping to massage and iron the racetrack in. Of course, Mother Nature helping with the watering overnight, and the crews have been hard at it since early this morning, getting this half-mile oval prepped and ready to go. If you're just joining us on the broadcast or in the grandstands, again, a field of 32 drivers on hand here tonight at the Terre Haute Action Track that will break down into 4 groups of Dirt Draft hot laps. If you have not, now is the time to download the Dirt Draft app and use referral code USAC when signing up to get a $20 digital gift card, good at usacgear.com. AMSOIL is the title sponsor of the USAC Sprint Car National Championship. The AMSOIL Ultimate Oil Change makes changing your own oil a breeze. The shop by vehicle tool at AMSOIL.com takes the guesswork out of picking the best oil and filter combination for your vehicle. Pick the right product and packaging option from a complete list of product recommendations and get everything you need to get the job done shipped right to your door with fast, free delivery. Visit AMSOIL.com to learn how you can get the protection you demand and the performance you deserve. Speaking of AMSOIL, you can be tonight's AMSOIL Inside the Oval winner. Sign up with the merchandise trailer now as you and a guest have a chance to ride in the pace truck for tonight's feature event if your name is chosen. Again, you have until about the start of heat races to go down and sign up. Once the final heat race pulls out to the speedway, that's when the name will be drawn. NOS Energy, where boundaries are merely suggestions. Fire up, fuel up, and never look back. With NOS Energy, it's human horsepower. Try one today. The NOS Energy sampling station located just outside of the grandstands in the midway as you make your way up to the fabled covered seating here at Terre, Haute. Throughout the 2025 season, you can be part of the action with a chance to win with Play USAC, offering you, the fans, ways to put money in your favorite drivers with top sports books and daily fantasy providers offering odds and exclusive sign-up offers to USAC racing fans. There's never been a better time to give it a try. Visit nxtbets.com/playusac for more information. Or on the broadcast, you can scan the code that'll be on the screen here throughout the evening to find out what is available in your state. Void where prohibited, must be 21 years or older to participate. Play responsibly and fight back against addiction at 1-800-GAMBLER. The odds provided to USAC by nxtbets.com. They put Kyle Cummins as the odds-on favorite at plus 154. Robert Ballou at a 469. A little bit further back, Kevin Thomas Jr. 1472. Chase Stockton they have as one of the long shot odds at 4084. But again, when our drivers win when you play along at nxtbets.com/playusac. Racing Electronics has over 30 years of experience and serves every major form of auto racing. Don't forget to bring your scanner the next time you're at a USAC National event, as all of our broadcast audio is available at frequency 454.5000. Cookout presents always fresh, never frozen burgers, barbecue, hot dogs, all cooked fresh every day. And get this, over 40 different flavors of shakes, all prepared fresh and made by hand every day. It's all yours. Find a Cookout location near you. Go to cookout.com. Sunoco is the official fuel of USAC Racing. As the world's largest manufacturer of racing fuels, Sunoco has been the standard in motorsports for over 50 years. Known for innovation, consistency, and high performance, Sunoco Fuels has been the choice of racers in virtually every form of motorsports, from grassroots tracks to premier international series. Committed to supporting the racing community, Sunoco powers champions and fuels unforgettable moments at the track. CarIQ has created a payment solution aimed at fleets that allows cars and trucks to connect to gas pumps to pay for fuel without the need of a fuel card or a credit card. CarIQ Payment Solutions, CarIQ Pay, replaces fleet card products and protects against fraud while significantly reducing back-office vehicle reconciliation. Learn more at gocariq.com today. Hoosier Racing Tires' mission is to be the dominant customer-driven provider of racing tires to teams domestically and internationally. Their existence and continued success are dependent upon how well they meet their responsibilities to serve their customers by providing safe, quality products to amateur and professional motorsports teams. For more information on the tires designed for champions, go online to HoosierTire.com. Indy Metal Finishing is the official sponsor of the USAC work area. Indy Metal Finishing is a family-owned and operated business with 30 years of experience in the industry. Their mission, to support their customers with an exceptional level of quality and service. Conveniently located minutes from downtown Indianapolis, Indy Metal Finishing offers Type 2 and Type 3 anodizing chemical conversions, passivation, and electroless nickel services to motorsports, medical, military, aerospace, and manufacturing industries. Indy Metal Finishing is ISO certified and holds an FFL license. For more information, go online to IndyMetalFinishing.com. Whether you're running a go-kart, a micro, midget, modified, sprint car, late model, Silver Crown, or even the tractor, Rod Supply has the assortment of rod ends, radius rods, and specialty products that will help you lead the field and to perform at your maximum potential. Remember, they don't just sell them, they race them. Find out more at rodsupply.com. K1 Race Gear was born in 2003 with a philosophy of offering products to customers that they would be proud to use. At K1 Race Gear, they are racers and they understand the value of buying quality racing products at a reasonable price. Whether you have a lifelong passion for racing or your children are just getting into the sport, they have the products for you. Contact them online at k1racegear.com. The official fire prevention solution of USAC Racing is Inferno Armor. Created for the motorsports industry and now used in many other applications, Inferno Armor quickly and easily makes fabrics fire retardant and heat resistant. Simply put, it's a high-performance fire protection and a convenient spray. Inferno Armor presenting the fire move of the night in all three USAC national divisions throughout the 2025 season, where they award the driver that puts on a fire of a show a complimentary bottle of Inferno Armor. If you have a major way down to the USAC merchandise trailer, all of the 2025 Race Day must-have gear is available for you here tonight, including a fresh supply of Indiana Sprint Week t-shirts. Make sure to get down there where your size, color, and design is still available. Also, while you're down there, you can get the driver roster this evening, $1 while supplies last. Follow along tonight on social media. You can find us on Facebook by searching for USAC Racing, and on X and Instagram at USAC Nation. Live timing and scoring via the Race Monitor app as well. A reminder, anything you see on social media as well as Race Monitor is unofficial. All official news, notes, points, and updates will be posted at the close of tonight's program at usacracing.com. Action with the USAC Amsoil Sprint Car National Championship here at the Terre Action Track, dating all the way back into 1957. The likes of Andy Linden, Eddie Sachs, Jim Hurtubise, Roger McCluskey, A.J. Foy, Johnny Rutherford, some of the absolute best the sport has ever seen, has turned laps and gone to victory lane here at the Terre Haute Action Track. Not in action tonight, but the Hoffman number 69 is here. Brady Bacon was behind the wheel of the Hoffman 69 1 year ago when he went fourth to first here in Indiana Sprint Week competition. Logan Seavey, winner before that during the Tony Holman. That was back in May of 2024. Justin Grant going to victory lane here in the 2023 Indiana Sprint Week visit. Brady Bacon winning the Holman in 2023. Looking back to 2022, Robert Blue going fifth to first here at the Terre Haute Action Track. That win during the Tony Holman Classic. The Don Smith Classic, C.J. Leary, a winner in this event back in May of 2022. Of course, C.J. Leary getting his first USAC National Sprint Car score of the season last night at Circle City Raceway. Second USAC win of the season, and his second in 2 weeks of racing action. His other one coming up at the Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park during the Race Aid 100 in Silver Crown competition. Looking ahead on the schedule as cars continue to make their way out to the racing surface. NOS Energy Drink Indiana Sprint Week presented by Honest Abe Roofing continuing tomorrow down at Bloomington Speedway. We wrap things up on Saturday at the Tri-State Speedway down at Hobstadt. Then the Silver Crown Division takes center stage once again. The long-awaited return to Salem Speedway on Saturday, August 9th. The Dirt Mile of the Illinois State Fairgrounds Silver Crown action on August 16th. And then it's the Elliott's Custom Trailers and Karts Sprint Car Smackdown. 3 nights of racing at the Kokomo Speedway, August 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. We'll have a little bit more information on that event coming up here in just a moment. Rescheduled at Bloomington Speedway for the USAC NOS Energy Drink Midget National Championship. That'll be on August 29th. The Dirt Mile of DeCoin, the Silver Crown Division on August 30th, and then August 31st, the 10,000 to win event at Angel Park Speedway, the USAC NOS Energy Drink Midget National Championship, rounding out the month of August up at Angel Park. Of course, you can see the entire lineup of events for all 3 USAC National Divisions when you go online to usacracing.com. If you can't be there live, of course, you can see it all on FloRacing. FloRacing is the official live online broadcast provider of the United States Auto Club. And it's not just racing, a part of the Flo Sports Network. You can pretty much find, well, anything you can imagine, whether it's baseball, basketball, rugby, marching band, and more. You can find it with Flo Sports. Looking at the lineup of events tonight, of course, you have Indiana Sprint Week. You have drag racing going on right now, Flo Marching. You've got road racing, professional bull riding, weekly racing, and more. Again, you can find it all when you go and subscribe, whether it's monthly or yearly, to FloRacing. So working the field down the racetrack here as we continue to iron in this half-mile oval. One by one, drivers being told on the receiver from race control that they can go in and make their way back into the pit area. We'll whittle it down until we have Dirt Draft Hot Lap session at number 1 remaining out to the racing surface. Again, 32 drivers checking in for tonight's action here at the Terre Haute Action Track. Of course, remember, 8 nights of racing, a $50,000 point fund. The champion walks away with $25,000 and that one-of-a-kind Bridgeport rocker. There's another Bridgeport rocker that is also up for grabs, and that is going to be part of the auction when we're up during the Elliott's Custom Trailers Kart Sprint Car Smackdown. Of course, you can find more information on everything happening about the Smackdown behind the grandstands, as there's a lot going on there. They raise a lot of money for charity. It's a really wonderful event. It just happens to all be wrapped around a sprint car race, but there's a whole lot of charity that goes on up there. There's auctions and a lot of great things that happen, so it's definitely something to check out. Melinda Stambro is back there, and she has a tent set up, and you can actually go down there and enter the raffle. I believe they also have a golf cart they're raffling off, so go and check that out. Again, Melinda's back there behind the grandstands. Of course, not only do you have the USAC merchandise trailer, the NOS Energy sampling station, but several drivers with their T-shirts, hats, hoodies, sweatshirts, everything set up back there. And it is going to be a little cool tonight, and there is one blanket, one lone USAC blanket left at the merchandise trailer. Make sure and grab that. So even when it heats back up, you got a nice way to mark your seat in the grandstands. You can add some equity to the house when you throw it on the couch, but you might be needing that here a little bit later on this evening. Of course, as the state of Indiana has been trying to cook us alive here as of late, as Drake pointed out earlier, definitely the cooler temperatures very much welcomed here this evening. Of course, a juiced-up Terre Haute tends to be an interesting one, and one of the questions a lot of people have is, will we see the track record broken here tonight? It has stood since 2014. Brady Bacon turned a 19.225 second lap. So we'll see how things shake out here once we get going into Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. So one by one, they hear from race control that they can make their way off of the racing surface. As cars starting to kind of roll where they see fit here, as the bottom of the racetrack has started to lay down nicely here. begin with 32 drivers. We'll have 4 flights of dirt draft hot laps. After that, we'll go into our Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. 2 cars at a time will make their way out to the speedway. 2 laps. Quickest lap time counting towards your qualifying effort. Of course, always one of the neat things about coming to Terre Haute, not only do you have the historic covered grandstands, you have the tunnel and the access to the infield, so you can see racing from all different angles here while you were on the grounds of the Terre Haute action track. One of the greatest views, whether it is a recap video from Rich Foreman, the broadcast, or even just as a fan, is that view going into turn number 1 from the infield. When they throw that car in, it is nearly takes your breath away to see how much speed these drivers are carrying in and how much they have that car cranked going into turns 1 and 2. So just about ready to go into Dirt Draft Hot Lap session number 1 as the field of drivers has just been whittled down here. Talk about the drivers you'll see on track, and that includes the driver that's on screen right now at Coleman, Alabama, the Inferno Armor, Majestic Electric, Factory K, and Eddie Gilstrap Motors, Lucas Oil Center, number 3R. That is Kevin Thomas Jr. Kevin Thomas Jr. in the 3. Also set to be on track here for this hot lap session is Briggs Danner out of Allentown, Pennsylvania, the Schneider & Sons Recycling, Oshucks Roasted Corn Boulevard Truck Repair, Ryder DRC Chassis, number 39. That car rolling through turns 3 and 4. Sabin Bybent out of Cincinnati, Ohio, driving the Epoxy Systems International number 98 here on the front straightaway. Rolling by the 69 of Nick Bilby, the Bilby Hoffman Motorsports, Tom Hoffman Construction, AJ Felco Racing Engine, DRC Chassis, Carl LaFerry Trucking and Demolition, number 69. Eric Gentry making his first appearance of Indiana Sprint Week here in 2025. The driver at Robards, Kentucky, driving the Gene Nig Construction, Spec DRC Chassis, Chalk Sticks, the Machine and Tool, number 10. Nate Shank also set to be on track here. The driver to Santa Rosa, California, driver the Joe Hunt Magneto, Sonoma Springs Brewing Company. Lawson Rock and Oil, Air Technology West, Sonoma Paint Center, number 1. He rolls down the back straightway. Kobe Simpson of the 21K also on track. He comes to you at Bonham, Texas, at the Beattown Automotive Circle C Adventures, number 21. And your final driver set to be on track. Exits turn number 2 and is on the throttle. Logan Seavey out of Soto, California, the Mountain Mechanical Contractors, Drop Light, Bob Hurley RV, Indy Power Sports, number 57. As we go to green in Dirt Draft Hot Lap session number 1. And a ton of smoke starting to come off of Sabin Bybent's number 98 as he rolls onto the back straightaway. Looks off of the engine, not out of the engine right now. And a little bit of fire off of the left side, so he's got some oil spraying down on the headers here as he comes around to the front straightaway. The car not losing any speed nor power here as he'll come around to the drop of the checkered flag, so he'll be able to get that down and have the crew go to work and make sure everything is sealed up before he comes out for Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. $19,991. Briggs Danner, the quickest driver on track right now in the number 39 machine. Nate Shank was second quick at a 24:31. Kevin Thomas Jr., 25:21. Nick Bilby, 20.629. And Sabin Bybent, 20.801 seconds. CV Simpson and Gentry Difference among the 8 drivers right now, 2.387 seconds. Difference among your top 5, just over 8 tenths. Looks like some problems for the 10. A possible right rear failure on that car as he is able to roll his way back into the pit area. In the meantime, Dirt Draft Hot Lap session number 2 rolling out to the Speedway, and we'll find Mitchell Moles at Raisin City, California on track. The AME Electrical, Massive Valley Transportation, Kaiser Wheels, Ryan Bolt, Underwood Motorsports up at 19 AZ, rolling into turns 1 and 2. Robert Blue at Rockland, California, the Suburban Subaru, Dean's Waterfront Services, Donut DRC, Amy Garner Roofing, Hinchman Indy number 12, off into turn number 1, just past the flag stand. That's Kyle Shipley at Phoenix, Arizona, the Central Security and Communications, Fritchie's Lawn Care and Landscaping, Kistler Triple X Chassis, Ben's Asphalt 0G. Driver to Plainfield, Indiana, driver the C&D Rigging, Steve Beitler Yacht Charters, Gressman Sled Chassis, Massive Valley Transportation, Hellraiser Jack Simpson, Santana Racing Products number 6R. It's Bill Rose. Bill Rose in the 6. Hunter Maddox out of Bedford, Indiana, driver the TJD Roofing and Exteriors, Megacorp Logistics, Midwest Septic Services, Auto Credit Buy Here, Pay Here, number 24M out of Bedford, Indiana, making his way through turns 1 and 2. Driver rolling it behind him is going to be Ricky Lewis out of Oxnard, California, the Superior Tank and Trailer, Physical Medicine Consultants, Massive Valley Transportation, Haley Motorsports, number 41. Absent for competition last night with an ignition issue with the Mount Pocono, Pennsylvania driver back here tonight. The JP Masonry, Amantia Real Estate, Stinger Racefields, Newman's Triple X Chassis number 88J. That is Joey Amantia. Crew having to do some work on the magneto system on that number 88. Unfortunately, was not able to be in action up at Circle City Raceway. As looks like waiting on one more car to make his way out to the Speedway. So during hot laps and Honest Abe Roofing qualifying, we will push from the infield. Once it comes race time, we'll bring the cars out to the Speedway, and they will fire from the front stretch. And the final driver rolling out out of Anaheim, California, driver the Inland Rigging, Snake Enterprises, Darty Motorsports, CK Enterprises, One-Way DRC Chassis number 5T. This is Jake Swanson. Jake Swanson in the number 5. So drivers hearing from officials up at the tower to go and get spread out, get ready to go as we get ready to set them loose here in Dirt Draft Hot Lap session number 2 of 4 tonight. Caution lights about to go dark. Looking back at last night's feature events, C.J. Leary going to victory lane. Mitchell Moles was second. Kevin Thomas Jr. was third. Shane Cottle in fourth. And Logan Seavey made it the top 5 last night up in Indianapolis. As they'll start to wind things up here, we go to green in Dirt Draft Hot Lap session, session number 2. So Briggs Danner remains the quickest driver so far on track. The quickest driver in that set is second quick overall. Jake Swanson, 20.341 seconds. So it's Danner, then Swanson, Nate Shank, Kevin Thomas Jr., and Ricky Lewis into the top 5 at a 20.526 second lap. Difference of just over a half a second among your 5 quickest drivers so far. Dirt Drive Hot Lap session number 3 out to the Speedway. Hayden Reinbold rolling onto the back straightaway to Gilbert, Arizona. Driver the Avanti windows and doors, AME Electrical Indy Race Part Stanton Spike number 19. Rolling in the middle of turns 1 and 2, that is Chase Stockenett of Fort Branch, Indiana. The Brown Brothers Excavating, Daywig Meats, Lucas Oil Center, Superior Tank and Trailer, SNC Machine number 92. Also out to the Speedway, the 3P of Kyle Cummins. He's out of Princeton, Indiana. Rolls onto the back straightaway in the Avanti Windows and Doors Premier Recycling Petty Performance, Mach 1, number 3. And also out to the racetrack, Cale Drake out of Collinsville, Oklahoma. The Pendleton Farms, Bennick Enterprises, Claxon DRC, number 2B, the Duke of Curls. Going to make his way to the midpoint of the back straightaway. Charles Davis Jr. to Buckeye, Arizona, over in turn number 2 right now in the MP Environmental, Black Magic Bead Breaker, Stanton DRC Chassis, Central Arizona Speedway, number 47. And last night's feature winner up at Circle City out to the Speedway out of Greenfield, Indiana, over in the middle of turns 1 and 2. Driver the Curb Records, Kodiak Products, Team Arizona, Quebec Jane, and Racing number 21 AZ. That is CJ Leary. Leary in the 21. First appearance of the week for Sam Scott. He's out of Patoka, Indiana, driver the Thacker Concrete, England Machine and Tool, Compton Farm Spec Power, DRC Chassis number 7S. He rolls to the midpoint of the back straightaway. Logan Calderwood also joining us here tonight at a Goodyear, Arizona, driving the MP Environmental 6X Management Group, one-way XXX Chassis number 6. That driver rolling just shy of the track exit here on the back straightaway. Lane drivers roll around as they see fit right now before we set them loose here in Dirt Draft Hot Lap session number 3. Set number 1, Briggs Danner was the quickest driver. Set number 2, it was Jake Swanson. Danner continues to be the quickest driver on track. Again, a 19.991 is the only driver of the 19-second bracket right now. Of course, Danner picking up a thrilling victory with the last lap pass up at Kokomo. Couple of drivers out of competition here tonight. Zach Pretorius, one of those drivers in the 9Z, got upside down during Honest Abe Roofing qualifying yesterday. Actually got up and over the wall at Circle City. Unfortunately, the 9Z not here this evening. And Matt Goodnight, another driver that got up on the concrete last night up at Circle City. So the 39G, likewise, the frame to damage to continue here tonight as we're underway in Dirt Drive Hot Lap session number 3. Checkered flag flies here in Dirt Draft Hot Lap session number 3. Your quickest driver on track for this session was Chase Stock in a 22.01. Briggs Danner remains the quickest overall at a 19.991. Jake Swanson third quick now at a 23.41. CJ Leary 23.80 is fourth quick. Kyle Cummins fifth quick at a 24.23. Nate Shank, Kevin Thomas Jr., Ricky Lewis, Robert Blue, and Logan Calderwood currently make up the top 10. Separation among those 10 drivers, 0.622 seconds. Final flight of Dirt Draft Hot Laps out to the Speedway. Colin Parker to Martinsville, Indiana. The Smith Small Engine, GTCarts.com, built trainer Magnum chassis number 16 on the Speedway. Driver that just rolled by him, he's from right here in town. Driver the Maddox Heating and Cooling, Pro Source, Newman Motorsports, Gressman DRC number 28. That is Brandon Maddox. Brandon Maddox in the 28. Travis Milla in the 93 AU on track in Victoria, Australia. The GTH, VAC, and Electric, Milla Power, DRC chassis, King's Fiberglass, Midwest Imports, Upright Enterprises, Advanced Living Solutions, number 93. Just past the flag stand, Travis Thompson out of Brazil, Indiana, the Always Heating and Cooling, Thompson built DRC chassis number 7. And the young lady rolling behind him is Kayla Rell. She's out of Dillsboro, Indiana, driver the Southern Insurance, Heavy Duty Truck and Transmission Services at Farm Chevy built Spike number 4K. Gunner sets her off into turns 1 and 2 at Columbus, Indiana. Driving the Midwest 2, Mills Davis Brothers, S&C Machine, Stanton Flea RC, number 5G. And the 11 also onto the Speedway. That is Nate Irvin. He's out of Reelsville, Indiana, in the number 11 machine. Troy Carey on track at Tullamore, New South Wales, Australia. Driving the Supos, Ripper Claxon, Davis Brothers. Yoss Valley Waste Services number 45 in, makes his way off into turns 1 and 2. So again, letting drivers roll around the Speedway where they see fit right now. Iron in the racing surface just a little bit more before we set them loose here in your final flight of Dirt Draft Hot Laps. As the caution lights will go dark, the green lights will come on, and we'll wind the field up and set them loose one more time. So Dirt Draft Hot Laps will come to a close, and Briggs Danner will be your quickest driver at a 19.991. He's the only driver during Hot Laps to break down into the 19-second bracket. So the driver who was quickest among the drivers who was just on track was Gunnar Setzer, a 21.020. The driver of the number 5T. Well, if you're looking for that USAC blanket, it has been purchased. Thank you very much. Sprint Week decals, those are gone. The small 2X and 3X are still available in Indiana Sprint Week t-shirts, so get down there quick. They're going fast. Honest Abe Roofing, America's reliable roofer, will present the Fast Qualifying Award for all 3 USAC National Divisions throughout the 2025 season. Honest Abe has been installing, repairing, and maintaining residential roofs since 2005, and they want to give you the perfect roof to protect your home and keep you comfortable. Honest Abe provides the fastest service in the roofing industry, and they're supporting the fastest driver in qualifications. Visit honestaberoofing.com today to schedule your free roof inspection. $200 up for grabs to be your Honest Abe Roofing Quick Qualifier here during Indiana Sprint Week competition. Each additional quick qualifying time will net you another $200. 2 cars out to the track, and the first one out to the clay was Kevin Thomas Jr. to Coleman, Alabama. The Inferno Armor Majestic Electric Factory Kane Stanton Mach 1 chassis number 3R, joined by the 39 of Briggs Danner to Allentown, Pennsylvania. The E. Schneider & Sons Recycling, Oshkosh Roasted Corn, Boulevard Truck Repair, Apache Transport, Davis Brothers, number 39. Kevin Thomas Jr. comes around. He'll set the mark at a 20.642, 26.42 seconds. Briggs Danner, better, 20.268. He'll go to the top of the boards here in Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. Danner, who was quickest in hot laps, trying to be your Honest Abe Roofing quick qualifier as well. Kevin Thomas, lap 2 faster, 20.199, 21.99 for Kevin Thomas Jr. Can Briggs Danner answer in the 39? He can, 19.908. 19.908, Briggs Danner, your Honest Abe Roofing quick qualifier for the time being. Next 2 drivers out to the Speedway. We'll find Nick Bilby out of Indianapolis, Indiana. Driver the Tom Hoffman Construction, AJ Felker Power, DRC Chassis, Carl LaFerry Trucking and Demolition, Apple Metal Polishing, Longworth Rental Properties, Bilby Hoffman Motorsports number 69. Joined by Sabin Bybent out of Cincinnati, Ohio. The Epoxy Systems International, Glen Farms. Signs by Trey, Bybent Landscaping, J&D Chevrolet Triple X Chassis number 98. Bilby coming around. His opening lap is a 29.61, 29.61 for Nick Bilby. Sabin Bybent comes around 29.90 on his opening lap. Bybent with us at Lawrenceburg, finished 6th in the Elliott's Custom Trailers and Carts semi-feature event. Likewise for the 69, who was also at the Berg, went 13th in the feature event. Lap number 2 for Bilby, better on time, third quick at a 25.22. Sabin Bybent coming around his second time by. Better jumps to third at a 24.59, 24.59 seconds for Sabin Bybent. Briggs Danner, though, only driver to the 19-second range so far, 19.908. Still a long ways to go as the next driver out to the Speedways out of Robards, Kentucky. Driver the Gene Inc. Construction, Spec Power, DRC Chassis, England Machine and Tool, Chalk Sticks. Larry Gentry on number 10. This is Eric Gentry. Eric Gentry in the 10, joined by the driver out of Santa Rosa, California. Driver the Joe Hunt Magnetos, FT3 Performance Racing Engine, DRC Chassis, Air Technology West, Sonoma Paint Center. Dennis Faria Heating and AC, Lawson Rock and Oil number 1. That is Nate Shank. Gentry 21.955 on his opening lap. Again, 21.955. Nate Shank coming around. He'll take over the 5th spot at a 21.813. 21.813 seconds for the driver of the number 1. Slowly around the bottom side of turns 1 and 2. He'll find the back straightaway and the throttle here as Gentry comes around off of turn number 4. We'll see if he improves on lap number 2. He does not. 22.104. He'll stand on his opening lap, a 21.955. Shank coming around, second time by, will be slower, 21.904, 21.813 in his opening lap. So Shank currently in 5th. It's Danner, KTJ, Bybant, Bilby, and Shank right now making up the top 5. Out to the speedway now at a Sutter, California, driver of the Mount Mechanical Contractors, Drop Light, Indy Power Sports, Bob Hurley RV, Carrington Homes, Fortech Marketing, Indy Custom Zone, CGCPA's Abacus Race number 57. This is Logan Seavey. Logan Seavey in the number 57, joined by Kobe Simpson at Bonham, Texas, the Beattown Automotive Circle C Adventures, Canada DRC Chassis, Top Sub Purebred Quality Threads, number 21K. Logan Seavey, 5th quick on his opening lap at a 21.375, 21.375 seconds for the driver of the number 57. CV Sprint Week winner here back in 2021 as Kobe Simpson comes around in his opening attempt at a 21.910. 7th quick for the driver of the number 21K. CV 5th quick on his opening lap. We'll see if he improves here on lap number 2. He does. 3rd quick at a 23.94, 20.394 seconds for Logan CV. Waiting for the number 21K to make his way back around here. Lap number 2 for Kobe Simpson will be faster. He'll go to 6th quick at a 21.711. Next out to the speedway out of Oxnard, California, driver of the Superior Tank and Trailer, Physical Medicine Consultants, Mesilla Valley Transportation, D Transport, Haley Motorsports, Morris Farm, Sins on DRC number 41. This is Ricky Lewis. Ricky Lewis in the number 41. Joined by Hunter Maddox out of Bedford, Indiana, driver of the TJD Roofing and Exteriors, Cummings Power, DRC Chassis, number 24M. Lewis dancing around to the front straightaway in the 41. His opening attempt going to be 9th quick at a 21.0. 6th quick, 21.092, 2.1092 seconds for Ricky Lewis. Hunter Maddox, 7th quick at a 21.597. Ricky making his way through turns 3 and 4. We'll see where he lands on his second time by. Lewis going to stop the clock better on time. Not position, 27.33 for the driver of the number 41. Hunter Maddox in the 24M. Going to roll around here lap number 2, and he'll improve on his time. 7th quick still for him, though, 21.469. So those 2 cars will find the exit onto the back straightaway. We'll bring 2 more out to the racing surface. And the next driver out to the racetrack is going to be Mitchell Moles. He's out of Raisin City, California. Driver of the AME Electrical, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Kaiser Wheels, of Reinbold Underwood Motorsports, Stanton Powered Spike, number 19 AZ. Joined on track by the driver at Mount Pocono, Pennsylvania, the JP Masonry Newman's Triple X Chassis Area 54 MP Environmental Stinger Race Fuels at number 88J. This is Joey Amantia. The 19 Moles, 5th quick on his opening lap, a 24.72, 24.72 seconds for the driver of the number 19 AZ. Amantia coming around in the 88, 8th quick at a 21.302. Amantia, 17th up at Kokomo. A Magneto issue last night kept him out of competition at Circle City. The 19 AZ of Mitchell Moles, quick time at a 19.895, 19.895 seconds. Mitchell Moles to the top of the charts here in Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. Joey Amantia better on lap number 2, still 8th quick at a 21.281. But Mitchell Moles, second driver into the 19-second bracket, and he goes to the top with a 19.895. Next out to the speedway out of Rockland, California, driver of the Suburban Subaru, Deaton's Waterfront Services, Burks Western Telecom, Core Installation, Hinchman Indy, Amy Gardner Roofing Factory, Kane, Donna, DRC number 12. It's the madman, Robert Ballou. He'll be joined by the driver to Plainfield, Indiana, driver of the C&D Rigging, Steve Beitler Yacht Charters, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Hellraiser Jack Simpson, Sailhandle Racing Products number 6R. This is Bill Rose. Robert Ballou, first time around, goes 4th quick at a 22.20, 22.20 seconds for Robert Ballou. Bill Rose in the 6. Going to work off a turn number 4. Goes 12th quick at a 21.779. Robert Ballou making his second trip around, and it will be slower, 26.38, so 4th quick for Robert Ballou. Bill Rose, who was 12th quick on his opening lap. Going to bring the sled number around here to the front straightaway, and second time by, going to be slower, barely, 21.783. Lap number 1, 21.779. So 21.783 second time around for Bill Rose. Next drivers out to the speedway will be Jake Swanson out of Anaheim, California. The Inland Rigging Snake Enterprises, Darty Motorsports, CK Enterprises, one-way DRC chassis number 5T. Joined by Kyle Shipley out of Phoenix, Arizona, driver the Benz Asphalt, Apache Transport, Old Town Design Group, the Blind Man, DT Oil Services, Central Security Communications, number 0G. Jake Swanson coming around, 8th quick on his opening lap, a 20.617 second lap, 26.17 seconds for Jake Swanson. Kyle Shipley, 11th quick on his opening lap, a 21.417. Swanson in the 5, his last feature start here in 2023. He ran 20th, a trio of 12th place finishes before that, 2018, 20, and 2021. Comes around second time, better, 20.451 seconds, 6th quick for the driver, the number 5T, and Kyle Shipley going to pick up 1. He'll go into the top 10 at a 21.083 second lap. So Mitchell Moles continues to be at the top of the boards here in Honest Abe Roofing qualifying, 19.895 seconds. Briggs Danner currently second quick. Kevin Thomas Jr., Robert Ballou, and Logan Seavey currently make up the top 5. Cale Drake out to the speedway. Driver to Collinsville, Oklahoma, the Pendleton Farms, Bennick Enterprises, Honest Abe Roofing, John and Cheryl Long, Claxon DRC number 2B, the Duke of Curls, going to be joined by Logan Calderwood out of Goodyear, Arizona, the MP Environmental one-way XXX chassis number 6. Cale Drake coming around in his opening lap. He'll stop the clock 13th quick at a 21.654, 2.1654 seconds for Cale Drake. Calderwood going to go 9th quick at a 25.86, 20.586 seconds for Calderwood. 14th in the Elliott's Custom Trailers of Cars semi-feature event last year for Calderwood. The 2B ran 11th last year in feature competition. Second time by, better, 12th quick at a 21.107. Logan improves to 8th quick at a 24.72. So 19.895. That is the time they're all trying to beat right now. Mitchell Moles continues to sit at the top of the charts here. As Charles Davis Jr. rolls out to the speedway, he's at Buckeye, Arizona, driver the MP Environmental, Stanton DRC chassis. Central Arizona Speedway, Chuck D's Wieners, FK Indy number 47. He'll be joined by Sam Scott. Scott out of Patoka, Indiana, making his first Sprint Week appearance here in 2025. The Thacker Concrete England Machine and Tool number 7S. Charles Davis coming around 14th quick on his opening lap. 6-time Terre Haute Sprint Week starter here. Ran 17th 1 year ago. His best run in 2003, a 10th place finish for the driver of the number 47. Sam Scott, 20th quick at a 23.611. Looking for his first USAC feature start here at Terre Haute. Charles Davis coming around, and lap number 2, better, 10th quick at a 27.08, 2.0708 seconds for Charles Davis Jr. The 7S of Sam Scott, 20th on his opening lap, lap number 2. That's where he stays. Better on time, though, 22.196. So 20 drivers have been out to qualify so far out of a lineup of 32. And contestant number 21 is behind the wheel of the 92 at Fort Branch, Indiana. Driver the Brown Brothers Excavating, Daywig Meats, Lucas Oil Center, Superior Tank and Trailer, SNC Machine, England Machine and Tool, Moose Racing number 92. That is Chase Stockin. Chase Stockin out to the speedway, joined by your USAC National Points leader, the Petty Performance of Avante Windows and Doors, Stanton Mach 1 number 3P of Kyle Cummins. Stockin 10th quick on his opening lap, a 20.626, 26.26 seconds for Stockin. Cummins getting a little wild through turns 3 and 4 in the 3P. Comes around in his opening lap, 13th quick at a 27.83. Stockin in the 92, an 11-time Sprint Week starter here at Terre Haute, winner of the 2016 Don Smith Classic, and 3 overall USAC national scores here at the Terre Haute Action Track. Goes 5th quick on his second time by, a 23.88. And the 3P going to come around, second time by, big jump, goes to third. Kyle Cummins, 20.167 seconds for the driver of the number 3P. A 6-time Sprint Week starter here at the Terre Haute Action Track. A 3rd place finish 1 year ago. Victory lane last night for this driver at a Greenfield, Indiana. Driver the Curb Records, Kodiak Products, Oakcraft Elegant Cabinetry, one-way DRC chassis number 21AZ. This is CJ Leary. CJ Leary in the number 21AZ, joined by Hayden Reinbold at Gilbert, Arizona, the AME Electrical, Levante Windows and Doors, Indy Race Parts, number 19. Leary coming around in his opening lap, 12th quick at a 25.28. 25.28 seconds for C.J. Leary. 10-time Sprint Weeks feature starter here at Terre Haute. Hayden Reinbold, his opening lap, 21st quick at a 21.806. Leary trying to improve here on lap number 2, and he will stay where he's at. Slower, 27.32, a 25.28 on his opening lap. Hayden Reinbold in the 19 coming around, second time by, and he will be just a tick slower, 22.215, a 21.806 on his opening circuit. Next out to the Speedway in Columbus, Indiana. Job of the Midwest Tube Mill, Stanton, Flea, RC, S&C Machine, Davis Brothers, Chrome Dome, Superior Ag number 5G. This is Gunnar Setzer. Gunnar Setzer in the 5, joined by Troy Carey at Tullamore, New South Wales, Australia. Job of the Supos, Claxton, Ripper, Yoss Valley Waste Services, Glitch Contracting, Davis Brothers, number 45 in. Gunnar Setzer in the 5, lap number 1, 15th quick at a 29.69. 29.69 seconds for the driver of the number 5G. In search of his first A-feature appearance here at Terre Haute Action Track. Troy Carey, his first time around, 25th quick at a 22.025 second lap. Setzer in the 5, coming off of an 8th place run last night up at Circle City. Improves 13th at a 20.629, 20.629 seconds. Troy Carey working the outer line up of the fluff there at the exit of turn number 4. The 45 in, second time by, better, 21.909, jumps to 24th. So Mitchell Mole still atop of the charts here at a 19.895. Briggs Danner at a 19.908. Cal Cummins, 20.167. Kevin Thomas Jr., 21.99. And Robert Ballou, 20.220. Currently make up the top 5. Next two drivers out to the racetrack. He's from right here in town. It's Brandon Maddox in the Maddox Heating and Cooling Gressman DRC Newman Motorsports Pro Source number 28, joined by the driver out of Victoria, Australia, the GTH VAC and Electric Miller Power DRC Advanced Living Solutions 93AU. That is Travis Miller. Brandon Maddox 20th quick in his opening lap at a 21.638. Travis Miller, though, going to jump up ahead of him. Goes to 18th quick at a 21.227. Fifth and last night's semi-feature event for Milla. Maddox in the number 28 last night was 22nd in your feature event. Better goes to 16th quick on his second lap at a 21.015. We'll see if Milla improves his second time by. He does not. Slower, 21.544. Stands on his opening lap, a 21.227. Young lady out to the Speedway at Dillsboro, Indiana. Driver of the Southern Insurance, Spike, Farm Chevy Built, Heavy Duty Truck and Transmission Services, Clark's Home Service, Industrial Hydraulics Incorporated, number 4K. That is Kayla Rell. Kayla Rell in the 4K, joined by Colin Parker. He's out of Martinsville, Indiana. Driver of the Smith Small Engine, GTCarts.com, Bill Trainer, Magnum Chassis, Troy's Lawn Care, Express Steel, Tomahawk Attachments, number 16K. Kayla Rell, 22nd quick on her opening lap, a 21.563 as the 16 goes for a wild flip over in turns 3 and 4. Red lights come on. Coming up and out of the car, race fans, Colin is okay. Safety crews on scene with him. So here on the FloRacing broadcast, we'll cue up a replay of what exactly happened to the number 16. Working off into turns 3 and 4, biked her up, and he was along for the ride from there. An absolutely violent flip for the driver of the number 16. We'll slow the frame rate down here. Again, rolls it in. And once it tips up on that right rear for a second, looked like he was going to set it back down. But again, once it slams that left rear back down, usually you're just hanging on. So unfortunate end for Colin Parker in that number 16. Unfortunately, was not able to come around and complete a qualifying lap. Getting word, Travis Thompson out of Brazil, Indiana, the number 7. He has scratched from competition. So that'll leave one driver left to qualify here once we get things cleared over in turns 3 and 4. A TLP sighting in Terre, Haute. Very nice. As much as our broadcast crew calls me Sasquatch, TLP's right there with me. So they will load the 16 up on the hook here and get him cleared from the racing surface. Again, the good news if you're just joining us on the broadcast, able to get up and out of the car under his own power. Did sit down there for just a second, kind of collected himself for a moment. Kayla Rail, the other driver on track for this qualifying session, did complete one lap of qualifying, had a 21.563. Currently places her 22nd on the grid. Two feature starts this week so far for Kayla Rail, an 18th up at Lawrenceburg and a 20th at Kokomo. Other starts, a 6 in the preliminary feature event, or the semi-feature event rather, up at Lincoln Park, and a 16th last night at Circle City. '17 feature starts on the season for the driver of the number 4K. If you're not familiar with Kayla Rail, she is the first female winner of a USAC D2 Thunder Midget Racing Series event. She is also a state wrestling champion. Quick qualifier so far. Again, Mitchell Moles, Raisin City, California racer in the AME Electrical Massive Valley Transportation, number 19 AZ, a two-time Sprint Week starter here at the Terre Haute Action Track. He ran 6 here 1 year ago. His other Sprint Week start here in 8th in 2023. 7th at the dirt track at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and 8th at Honest Abe Lincoln Park Speedway. Getting involved in the vicious crash down the front straightaway at Lawrenceburg. Ended up 22nd. A 4th at Kokomo and a runner-up finish. Nearly nipped it away at the line last night at Circle City. 28 starts, 14 top 5s, and 22 top 10 finishes so far this season for Mitchell Moles. So they will put Kayla Rail back in the Indiana finishing work area, let the crew tend to her. So getting the 16 picked up from the racetrack, and both front and rear suspension absolutely destroyed. So Mitchell Moles, your quick qualifier thus far. Briggs Danner second quick. Kyle Cummins third. Kevin Thomas Jr. fourth. Robert Ballou fifth. Chase Stockin in sixth. Logan Seavey in seventh. Jake Swanson in eighth. Saban Byman in ninth. And Logan Calderwood currently making the top 10. Top 10 separated by .577 seconds. Mitchell Moles, your quick qualifier, by .013 over Briggs Danner. So backing away here in Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. The 4K Kayla Rail back out to the racetrack to complete her qualifying run. Again, she did get one lap in, and she'll be joined by Nate Irvin out of Reelsville, Indiana, driving the Spike Chassis Neville Algae powered and owned number 11 machine. Irvin coming around, first time by, will be 30th quick at a 22.896, 22.896 seconds. Kayla Rail coming around to complete her qualifying run. And 22nd quick, her opening lap will be her best attempt at a 21.563. Nate Irvin, second time around. Does find a little bit more speed, but still 30th quick at a 22.280 second attempt. As that will wrap up Honest Abe Roofing qualifying here tonight at the Terre Haute Action Track. Fifth quick tonight was Robert Ballou. Fourth quick was Kevin Thomas Jr. Third was Kyle Cummins. Second was Briggs Danner. And for the 23rd time in his career, the 8th time this season, he will be your Honest Abe Roofing quick qualifier driver out of Raisin City, California. The AME Electro Baceville Transportation, Stanton Spike, Reinbold, Underwood Motorsports, number 19 AZ race fans. Give him a hand, Mitchell Moles. As he will tie John Stanborough for 20th all-time. With the USAC Amsoil Sprint Car National Championship, he'll motor his way down into victory lane. He'll talk with Christy Bemis here in just a moment.
So Mitchell Moles putting his name on the board yet again for Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. When we talk about Honest Abe Roofing quick time awards here at the Terre Haute Action Track, specifically always really fast in qualifying early at this one and always really good later in the night as well. So close to your first Amsoil USAC National Sprint Car victory right here at this racetrack. Does it give you a little bit of a nostalgia to come back?
Yeah, I mean, I love this place. There's no secret about it. We don't seem to get as many cars at this place, and they are starting to pack the grandstands again, so that's great to see. But I don't know, it's just a big, fast place. It's where I started my non-wing career here with Andy, and I just really like it. I don't necessarily love it when it's in these conditions, but rain and everything, it just makes it tough. So me and Andy talked it over there a little bit, and the setup advice I gave him was it isn't stupid if it works. So we just tried some things there and it worked out. We're still not very good, I don't feel like, but I think everybody's making mistakes. It's just hard not to make mistakes when it's rough and choppy like that. Hopefully they go out there and they're going to roll it in, and I think you're going to see that top line come in a lot more just because it's so much easier to make laps up there. It's just not as much time fast. So yeah, hats off to Stanton Engines. They gave us another one. He does a great job building our engines, and obviously my whole team, they've been working so hard, and to come back from Lawrenceburg to get a quick time and stay in the mix, we'll see what we can do tonight.
Talk about the weather. We went from about 105 degrees to about 65 degrees really, really quick. So obviously that changed things here at the Terre Haute Action Track, that and the rain. Pretty narrow, pretty choppy as you were talking about. But in this sport, you have to expect the unexpected. When it comes to 30 laps around a more narrow Terre Haute tonight, what do you have to expect going into that?
Yeah, I mean, I think these guys have done a great job with what they're dealt with tonight. I mean, most people would just throw in a towel and move on. So Blade's back there working the track for us, and I told him I wanted the slick Terre Haute, and he did not deliver for me. But hopefully, I see a little bit of slick there. So, like I said, the rain is. I think they got almost 2 inches last night. So just to be here, able to have a race tonight's a great thing, and I think you're going to see it. You're going to see a lot of lines. I mean, Robert kind of showed the cards last year and. Sprint week when it rains every year at Terre Haute. So he showed us the cards. So we just, there's a couple lines that a lot of people know about now after last year. So I think just going to be really moving around the least amount of mistakes, I think, is who's going to win this race. And I'd also like to say hi to my mom and my dad and my grandma at home. And love you guys. Hopefully we can hang out later, or you guys can come out and see me sometime.
We do tend to have the worst luck at Terre Haute Action Track during NOS Energy Drink Indiana Sprint Week, presented by Honest Abe Roofing with weather. Drake's hanging out shoreside over there right here in the infield. So obviously a lot of rain that the Terre Haute Action Track had to absorb, but what an incredible job we've done to make sure that we get this race in tonight, because these drivers can't make any money if we don't race. So Mitchell Mole is really grateful for that in and of itself as he puts down another Honest Abe Roofing Fast Qualifying Award.
Indeed, thank you very much. We're going to have a little bit of time here as the tiller going to work. They're going to bring the equipment out. They're going to work the track, roll it back in before we go into opening ceremonies here this evening. So that means you have time to go down, grab yourself something to eat and something to drink, and also make sure and swing by the bevy of merchandise, trailers, and tents, and everything set up back there. The NOS Energy sampling station is awaiting you, so you can sample a free can of NOS Energy here tonight. And of course, make sure and swing by and get that complimentary can of NOS. And, of course, stop by the USAC merchandise trailer as they are down to just the final few Indiana Sprint Week T-shirts. But here on the FloRacing broadcast, we're going to step away for a little bit. We'll be back to Terre Haute.
Hi, my name is Easton Loomis, and I'm 11 years old from Blasville, New York. This season is my 6th year racing quarter midgets in the NASCAR Youth Series, and I am proud to represent the Northeast and my home track Syracuse Quarter Midget Club. I'm very honored to be a top 48 Paddy Performance Edge driver and look forward to showcasing my hard work on and off the track. Being a top 48 Paddy Performance Edge driver gives me the chance to develop my skills as a driver and allow me to learn more about being a leader and role model off the track. Learning and adapting is a big part of racing, and that is what I look forward to the most. Thank you, Paddy Performance Edge and NASCAR Youth Series, for giving all the drivers this platform. I look forward to representing you for the 2025 season and beyond.
Are you looking for a new race car hauler, trailer, or easy-go golf cart? What about something dependable? How about buying from someone you can depend on? Contact Elliott's Custom Trailers and Carts. They're a certified Featherlight dealer with all kinds of trailers and other products to fit your needs. Located just 2 hours north of downtown Indianapolis, Elliott's Custom Trailers will deliver your trailer or cart anywhere in the United States. No matter where you're from or what you're looking for, the goal is always the same: ultimate customer satisfaction. So don't wait. Contact Elliott's today and find a trailer or golf cart that fits your needs.
Indy Metal Finishing is a family-owned and operated business with 30 years of experience in the industry. Their mission is to support their customers with an exceptional level of quality and service. Conveniently located minutes from downtown Indianapolis, Indy Metal Finishing offers Type 2 and Type 3 anodizing chemical conversions, passivation, and electroless nickel services to motorsports, medical, military, aerospace, and manufacturing industries. Indy Metal Finishing is ISO certified and holds an FFL license. If you have any questions, please call Indy Metal Finishing today at 317-858-5353. Find them online at Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Indy Metal Finishing, or visit their website at indymetalfinishing.com.
Our summer block party is in full swing at Lou Fuse Kia Terre Haute. Celebrate summer with incredible deals like the all-new K4, $199 a month, new Sportage, $239 a month, or new Telluride, $379 a month, all backed by Fuse. Celebrate and save at our summer block party. K4's $199, Sportage's $239, Telluride's $379 at Lou Fuse Kia Terre Haute, home of the 200,000-mile warranty. Lou Fuse, we are family.
Anything you can do, I can do better.
I'm faster than you. Yeah, well, I'm gnarlier than you. I get more sideways. I'm louder. Much louder. I get wilder than you. You sure about that, bro?
Harder.
Slicker.
Cooler.
Tougher.
Let's go.
So what you got?
Hey, are you caught in the tariff trap, rising costs, and unpredictable delays? Well, it's time to reshore, reclaim, and reinvent with Parallax Group Incorporated. With over 30 years of expertise, we deliver high-quality assembly and manufacturing solutions right here in North America. Our strategically located facility near the U.S. border ensures faster distribution and reduced logistics costs. Experience efficiency, control, and excellence in every product. Parallax Group Incorporated, quality assembly processes in North America.
Go harder, faster, stronger with Rod End Supply. Whether you are running industrial, farming equipment, or a race car, Rod End Supply has the assortment of rod ends, radius rods, and specialty products that will help you lead the field in performance. Our superior design means our rod ends last longer and perform better, giving you the edge on the track and saving you money. Contact Rod End Supply or order online today at rodendsupply.com. We don't just sell them, we race them. rodendsupply.com, serving the racing community for over 30 years.
Hi there, it's Genevieve Malone, and we're here at Terre Haute Action Track for our cookout shake of the race. And for today's driver, we have chosen Logan Stevie. Here we have
Justin Sullivan.
So Justin, what are we thinking for Logan's favorite flavor of milkshake from Cookout?
Peanut butter fudge.
Peanut butter fudge. Let's see if that's what he says.
My favorite cookout shake is Oreo.
That is not Logan's favorite flavor. He keeps it simple with Oreo, but it was a nice try. Almost picked it. Next time, we'll have to try that. But if you would like to try a shake from Cookout, you can go to cookout.com to find the nearest location.
Welcome back to the broadcast here on FloRacing. Track work has just about wrapped up as they have the two water trucks out re-rolling the speedway in. They'll be pulling off here in just a little bit. We'll be getting ready to go into opening ceremonies. If you're just joining us on the broadcast, we'll have Honest Abe Roofing qualifying in the books, where Mitchell Moles was tonight's Honest Abe Roofing quick qualifier for the 8th time this season. Couple of drivers, unfortunately, scratching from competition. As we get through the lineups, we'll let you know the who's, what's, and where's on those drivers. We'll also have a shift in one of our lineups here a little bit later on. As getting a report from the pit area, a car change underway for Logan Seavey. Number 57 bringing out the backup car here. So for his heat race, that will relegate him to the tail of the lineup. So heat race number 1 already down in the staging lanes. So during our hot laps and qualifying, firing from the pits out to the speedway during race competition, we'll bring them out to the front straightaway to stage, and we will fire from there. 4 heat races on the docket. We'll take the top 5 from each directly into tonight's feature event. Everybody else going to your Elliott's Custom Trailers and Karts semi-feature event. So one of the water trucks taking the turn off of the back straightaway. So the water truck about to make its way off of the speedway. Safety crews and everybody in their position. Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of the evening. If you would please rise for tonight's invocation and national anthem. Let's go down to Christy Bemis.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is night number 6 of 8 of NOS Energy Drink Indiana Sprint Week presented by Honest Abe Roofing. Before we can get anything done on track, we will turn to the Lord with Mr. Tim Spillman.
Can we all pray? Father God, once again we pause and we thank you for all your blessings and all your love that you give to each and every one of us. We thank you for the opportunity of being here at the Terre Haute Action Track, and may every venue that they put on be a great success. Father, we thank you that we can live in a country where we can assemble like this in freedom because of all the military that's standing around this world and on our shores to keep each and every one of us free. And we ask you to bring them all home back safe someday soon. Thank you for all the sponsors that come along to help make all this possible. We ask now that you'd keep us safe, all of our drivers, crews, officials, and all of these great fans. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Please remain standing for the playing of the national anthem.
Number 1, 8 laps the distance, and again taking the top 5 directly into your feature event. As the cars stage out to the speedway, lineup set to roll to the green like this. Driver of the poles out of Bedford, Indiana. Driver of the TJD Roofing and Exteriors, Cummings Power. DRC Megacorp Logistics, Indiana Metal, number 24M. It's going to be Hunter Maddox. Outside your front row, out of Phoenix, Arizona, the Central Security Communications. Ben's Asphalt 0G. That will be Kyle Shipley. Next row from the inside, you'll find Gunnar Setzer at Columbus, Indiana. The Midwest 2 Mills. Stanton Powered Flea RC, S&C Machine, Davis Brothers. Secure starts down, number 5G. And next to him, it'll be Saban Bybin out of Cincinnati, Ohio. The Epoxy Systems International, Triple X Chassis, Glen Farms. Signs by Trey, number 98. Next row from the inside, he is out of Rockland, California. The Suburban Subaru Dean's Waterfront Services, Donut DRC Gaming Garden Roofing number 12, the Madman, Robert Ballou. And for the 6th starting spot, tonight's quick qualifier at a Raisin City, California, the AME Electrical Pacific Valley Transportation Stanton Spike number 19 AZ. That is piloted by Mitchell Moles. Final row from the inside is teammate at Gilbert, Arizona, the AME Electrical. Avante windows the door, Stanton's bike number 19. That's going to be Hayden Reinbold. And your final starter is set to be Sam Scott. He's out of Patoka, Indiana, driven the Thacker Concrete Spec DRC, Compton Farms, number 7S. As that'll be your scheduled lineup again for Car IQ Heat Race number 1 of 4 tonight for the USAC Amsoil Sprint Car National Championship.
A couple of interesting Indiana Sprint Week storylines to consider as we get into heat races tonight. First is 5 nights of Indiana Sprint Week in the book so far. 5 different winners. We haven't had a repeat winner during Sprint Week yet. So Justin Grant picking up the win at IMS, then Robert Ballou over at Lincoln Park Speedway, Logan CV at Lawrenceburg, Briggs Danner at Kokomo, CJ Leary last night at Circle City Raceway, and now we've got an opportunity here at the Terre Haute Action Track to have another winner for the first time during the week.
Justin Grant, the 11th time he has gone to victory lane in Indiana Sprint Week competition. CJ Leary picking up his 8th career victory. Logan Seavey likewise sitting at number 8. Robert Ballou for the 6th time in his career when he went to victory lane at Lincoln Park. And, of course, Briggs Danner picking up a win. That's the 2nd time he has won in Indiana Sprint Week competition. First time he has won at Kokomo.
One other thing to point out, especially when we talk about Mitchell Moles and his opportunity that he has here tonight at Terre Haute, 3 of the wins this week have been won, 3 of the feature victories, I should say, have been won by your Honest Abe Roofing Fast qualifier. So that was Justin Grant at IMS, Logan CV at Lawrenceburg, and Briggs Danner at Kokomo. So Mitchell Mole was your Honest Abe Roofing Fast qualifier tonight. Really good at Terre Haute, really comfortable at this racetrack, and of course, looking for his first win of 2025.
Looking at the season overall, 10 different drivers at victory lane. Leary, the most recent one on that list. Kyle Cummins, Justin Grant, each at 7 wins on the season. Of course, Grant, unfortunately, suffering the injury to his foot. Tried to compete at Kokomo, did do the start and park, and finally said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and rest up as he prepares. We've got the dirt miles coming up. We have midgets coming up, so he is getting ready to get back in the car and try to get himself healed up and get ready, especially for those dirt mile events.
Yeah, especially for the dirt miles. And I would say that of all the things that he's sort of focusing on this year would be that NOS Energy Drink National Midget title. That's the only one that's missing from his Triple Crown resume. So really trying to put the focus on that this year, I would imagine.
It definitely looked like he was in the running to potentially get the Triple Crown, which rarely done in a single season. If you win all 3, you are a Triple Crown titleist. If you can do all 3 in one season, you automatically have notoriety over everybody. Unfortunately, the injury taking that away from him, and that would have been a $500,000 bonus. And we're not trying to pour salt in the wound, just pointing out the season he was having up until that crash.
Yeah, that's such an elite category, and he absolutely was a contender for that. And I think that he'll have opportunities for that again in the future. It is really difficult to put together 3 perfect seasons in one year, but he's done just that up to this point. So that was one of the real bummers when I was considering all of the circumstances around that injury.
So the caution lights have gone dark. We're ready to go to green here in Car IQ Heat Race number 1. Again, Hunter Maddox and Kyle Shipley in row number 1. Gunnar Setzer and Saban Byman in row number 2. Robert Ballou, Mitchell Moles in row number 3. Hayden Reinbold and Sam Scott in row number 4. A juiced-up Terre Haute here tonight for round 6 of NOS Energy Drink Indiana Sprint Week presented by Honest Abe Roofing. Set to go to green. This time they go to the NOS Energy start can. Maddox finds the point, finds the gas, and we're underway.
Hunter Maddox and Kyle Shipley bringing them all the way around to turn number 4 before they fire. Kyle Shipley with a good run to the outside of the 24M, but he gets some dig on the inside down the backstretch.
Thought for a second the 0G was going to take off and get a run here as you got the 12 of Robert Ballou sitting to the inside of the 0G. Now that'll be the fight for the second spot here as they work through turns 3 and 4. Ooh, a little bit of contact. Thought Byman was going for a ride there for a second. The 98 got it about every direction but upside down. Good save on his part as Ballou is up into that second spot, giving chase to your leader as they work onto the far side of the speedway.
Hunter Maddox had bobbled through a rut through 1 and 2, was able to gather it back up together. I thought that might be an opportunity for the 12 of Ballou to get a run on the inside, but nothing so far. Still Hunter Maddox leading this one.
Challenged to the outside for the 19 AZ of Mitchell Moles there for the 3rd spot for a moment. Through turns 3 and 4. Lost a little bit of ground too. The Benz Asphalt 0G is now Setzer going to try to close in. The 19 with a better run is able to turn the car down the racetrack and keep pace with the 0 as they work onto the back straightaway through turns 3 and 4. Challenge for the lead. Here comes Robert Ballou to the inside and 12. has a good run and a good line around to the front straightaway. The 24M, they're going to drag race it past the line. It was Maddox by about a half a car, but the Madman on the inside has it in the middle of turns 1 and 2. They're still side by side, though, to the back straightaway.
Robert Blue puts the left front tire up against the guardrail on the inside of the Terre Haute Action Track in turns number 1 and 2, and does finally clear the 24M of Hunter Maddox in 3 and 4.
Having to wrestle that car at both ends of the racetrack right now as it continues to be Robert Ballou with the advantage here. Comes around to officially lead the way. Hunter Maddox in second, Kyle Shipley, Mitchell Moles. Those 4 drivers sitting in transfer spots. Gunnar Setzer running in 5th, Reinbold, Bybit, and Sam Scott currently rounding out your running order. As once he got to the lead, he's been able to really kind of put some distance here. 0.3 of a second last time at the start-finish line. A little bit of a misstep there at the exit turn number 4, but not going to slow down. Robert Ballou turns his fastest lap of the race and is 1.3 seconds to the good.
Yeah, and you mentioned it. Once he got out front, able to really set sail and stretch his legs out over the 24M of Hunter Maddox. As here comes Mitchell Moles to the inside of Kyle Shipley.
Mitchell, I thought he had actually got a little bit too high into turn number 1, got up into the fluff, and what he was doing is he was setting the car up to diamond it down across and catch the bottom, and got a big run in the 0 of Kyle Shipley in the process. We'll see if he does it again, this time into turns 1 and 2. Again, brings her a little bit wider, takes it down. You see there on the broadcast that very bottom groove on the entrance turn number 1, not really usable right now. A little bit of that water still sitting out there, keeping the drivers a little bit higher in the racetrack. But in the meantime, the 19AZ has been able to make the pass for that 3rd spot as the white flag is out for your field. Challenge underway for the transfer spot still.
So Gunnar Setzer in that 5th position. He's going to get up on the back bumper of the OG of Kyle Shipley. Gunnar Setzer sitting in that final transfer spot, trying to get some insurance, but with 1 lap to go, going to look like he's got things pretty well cleared as Robert Blue takes the checkered flag on Car IQ Heat Race number 1.
Blue grabbing the win, pass for the transfer spot, complete as they work off a turn number 4. Gunnar Setzer going to sneak by to seal the way in the 5 with Kyle Shipley, rounding out your top 5 positions. So they'll swap it up at the end. Shipley just trying to get that 4th spot. Setzer trying to get that insurance as Shipley comes around with the final transfer spot. Hayden Reinbold in 6th, Sam Scott, Sabin Bybin unofficially rounding out your field. But your winner, ladies and gentlemen, the driver to Rockland, California, driver of the Suburban Subaru, Hinchman Indy number 12. Race fans, give him a hand, the Madman, Robert Ballou. Mitchell Moles in 2nd, Hunter Maddox in 3rd, Gunnar Setzer in 4th, Kyle Shipley in 5th, Hayden Reinbold, Sam Scott, and Sabin Bybin. Again, rounding out your field. Top 5. We've been top 4 all week. It's top 5. Thank you.
We've got a bigger racetrack, which is the really fun and unique thing about putting Terre Haute on the Indiana Sprint Week schedule. It's the only half mile that we see all week. The only half mile in Indiana, I guess, if you put it that way.
The only half mile dirt track.
There you go.
In the
Thank
state
you,
of
Richie.
Indiana. So Robert Ballou going 5th to 1st in Car IQ Heat Race number 1. K1 Race Gear Heat Race number 2 going to make its way out. By the way, that was Robert's 15th heat race win of the season. Looking to the pole position here in K1 Race Gear Heat Race number 2, Kayla Rail out of Dillsboro, Indiana, going to occupy that position. Driving the Blood Lubricants, Next Gen Builders. Industrial Hydraulics Incorporated, Clark's Home Services number 4K. Next to her, the Duke of Curls. It's going to be Cale Drake out of Collinsville, Oklahoma. The Pendleton Farms, Bennick Enterprises. Honda State Roofing, John and Cheryl Long, Claxon DRC Chassis number 2B. Second row from the inside at Buckeye, Arizona, the MP Environmental, Black Magic Bead Breaker, Indy Race Parts, AME Electrical, FK Indy number 47. That'll be Charles Davis Jr. And for the 4th starting spot, he's out of Goodyear, Arizona, the MP Environmental One-Way Triple X. Chuck D's Wieners, Rex's Tattoo and Massage Parlor number 6. That is Logan Calderwood. Third row from the inside line, Chase Stockton out of Fort Branch, Indiana. The Brown Brothers Excavating, Daywig Meats, Kisser, DRC number 92. And from 6 is set to be Briggs Danner out of Allentown, Pennsylvania. The Schneider & Sons Recycling, Ryder DRC Chassis number 39. Final row, inside line, Nate Shank out of Santa Rosa, California. Driver the Joe Hunt Magneto, Lawson Rock and Oil. Air Technology West number 1. And your final starter is set to be Nate Irvin out of Reelsville, Indiana. Driving the Spike, Neville Algae powered and owned number 11. As that'll be your line begin for K1 Race Gear Heat Race number 2. Again, 8 laps in the top 5. Moving on into your feature event. So the field beginning to fire. The 4K of Kayla Rell. Picking up a complimentary bottle of Inferno Armor at Lawrenceburg with a Great run through the semi-feature event up into the main event.
And that is the racetrack where she does have a 410 sprint car win. So most likely feeling pretty confident there in terms of the grand scheme of Indiana Sprint Week.
2A feature starts on the week and 2 appearances in your Elliott's Custom Trailers Kart semi-feature event, including last night with a 16th place run. Kel Drake, couple of nights trying to fight back here with 16th at Kokomo. Circle City last night, 18th place finish. Made hard contact at the wall early on in the evening. 15th at Lincoln Park. The dirt track at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, his best run so far here during Indian Sprint Week. He ran 5th on the quarter-mile oval. Charles Davis Jr., 18th at Indy, 17th at Lincoln Park, and 18th at Kokomo, and a 21st last night at Circle City. A 6-time Sprint Week starter here at Terre Haute, ran 17th last year. His best run in 2003 was a 10th place finish. 6 of Logan Calderwood was 14th last year in the Elliott's Custom Trailers Kart semi-feature event, 25th last night at Circle City. And he's gone back and forth between his primary and his backup car. He had the backup car down at Kokomo. He went back to the primary car last night.
And they had another pretty good qualifying effort. They've had a ton of speed all week.
Logan really starting to get his feet underneath him here in non-wing competition. Look forward to seeing what he can do with the rest of the season. Chase Stockton at Fort Branch, Indiana, 15th last night at Circle City, a 3rd up at Kokomo. And Lawrenceburg, that's where the door decided it didn't want to cooperate. Unfortunately, was not able to compete there. A 6th at Lincoln Park and 19th at IMS. He has made the A feature 11 times in Sprint Week competition here and was the 2016 Don Smith Classic winner. He has 3 overall wins here, so he definitely knows how to get around this half-mile oval.
Yeah, the metaphor is that there's no opportunity when the door is closed, but in this case, the door was not open. And that's the unfortunate part. But Chase Stockton, definitely one that you want to keep your eye on tonight at the Terre Action Track, as you were mentioning. This is one of the racetracks that you have to be really seasoned and really confident at to be able to move your way through the field, or at least start on the front row and put together 30 nearly perfect laps. Chase Stockton definitely able to do that.
You're one of the drivers that is not afraid of the bigger tracks, because pretty much where he grew up, that's all you have. I mean, when you're learning how to race at Bridgeport, Williams Grove, Port Royal, places like that, Briggs Danner starting to his outside. Of course, got the win up at Kokomo. As the caution lights have gone dark here, we'll have Shank and Irvin in that final row. But at the front of the field, looking for the NOS Energy start can, Kayla Rell. In the number 4K, Kale Drake alongside in the 2B. Slow pace off into turn number 3. Reaches the middle of turn number 4. They come to the NOS Energy start can, and we're underway. Outside line moving quickly. The 2B at Kale Drake to jump up into the race lead. Rail trying to hold on to second. Calderwood challenging to her right. Here comes the 6 as they're side by side. Charles Davis into that mix now, making it a 3-car fight for silver into turns 3 and 4.
Charles Davis Jr. running in that 4th spot. Chase Stockton and Briggs Danner duking it out for that 5th and final transfer position. So far, Chase Stockton going to have the advantage, but Briggs Danner isn't done.
Stockton got that right rear way up the racetrack. He goes wide over in turns 1 and 2. Danner around the bottom, about took away the line that Stockton was going after, trying to diamond it down. Finally, the 39 kind of drifting up as, oh man, Danner got her up on the right side tires on the entry at turn number 3. Stockton, though, able to come around and hold on to that 5th spot. Now setting sights on Charles Davis Jr. as they work into turns 1 and 2.
That was an aggressive and pretty calculated move out of Briggs Danner. It just didn't pan out quite the way that he wanted it to, but he was trying to get that run on Chase Stockton, be able to keep the 92 behind him, but the 92 carrying a lot of speed.
Last time by, Kale Drake, the fastest on track, fastest lap of the race at a 29.62. Leads the way. His advantage right now, 1.267 seconds. Logan Calderwood sitting in second. Kayla Rail holding on to third. Charles Davis Jr. lurking down to the inside. Davis has to wait on the car. The 92 there to capitalize with a massive run through the middle of turns 1 and 2 and onto the back straightaway. We got one slow, though, the 11. Nate Irving going to negate that pass. And looks like potentially problems for Stockton in the 92. Looks like right front going down. In fact, it is down. So down to the Indy Metal finishing work area. Roll Stockton. What a tough break, as he had quite a run going in this heat race.
Yeah, heartbreak for Chase Stockton there. So he will get 60 seconds in the Indy Metal finishing work area. So he'll hopefully have time for his crew to get that swapped out and have 5 more laps to get himself back into a transfer spot. So 5 laps at Terre Haute, long time.
Real quick, let's check in with Drake.
You guys were talking earlier about Briggs Danner learning how to race sprint cars on the big tracks of East Coast. Another driver that kind of fits that criteria, but on the western part of the United States is Charles Davis Jr., currently running back in that 4th spot. Of course, you think about where he grew up racing at Manzanito, or even in later years, Central Arizona Raceway in Casa Grande, where we're going to be later this year for the Western World Championship. Also think about another defunct racetrack out there, Arizona Speedway. That was a pretty big racetrack as well. And whenever Charles Davis Jr. shows up to the Midwest, you know he's going to be good here at the Terre Action Track. He's picked up a couple heat race wins here along the way. If I'm not mistaken, a top 10 or 2 in his career here with the AMSOIL USAC National Sprint Car Championship. So the Arizona driver definitely knows how to get it done on the big tracks as well. And you talk about Chase Stockton, too, trying to get himself back into a transfer spot. We talked about it earlier, but he's trying to make his 500th career USAC National Sprint Car start tonight in that 92. We'll see if he can make it out of the Indy Medal finishing work here. If not, obviously we'll go to a semi-feature later on.
So they do have the tires swapped out on the Moose Racing number 92. Stockton to be able to make his way back out to the racing surface.
So, and as I mentioned, he's got 5 laps to get himself back into the top 5, and 5 laps at the Terre Haute Action Track is a long time. It takes us a long time to get through 5 laps here because it is a half mile. He's got a little bit more time and room to maneuver with.
So the caution line's going to go dark. Cale Drake leading in the 2. Logan Calderwood lining up in 2nd. Kayla Rail in 3rd. Charles Davis Jr. in 4th. Briggs Danner now going to round out your top 5. They sit in transferring positions. Shank, Irvin, and Stockton. At the back of the field, single file, the NOS Energy start can at the exit turn number 4. We're back underway. And Stockton wasting no time here on the restart. Quickly going to move back into the top 5. Got by 2 of them in a hurry there as they worked off into turns 1 and 2. Danner trying to fight back to his inside. Stockton not done. Goes after Kayla Rail. Going to move him into the 4th spot here around to the front straightaway.
4K Kayla Rail kind of pulled the front wheels up on that one, and that allowed Chase Stockton and both Briggs Danner to get a run. But Chase Stockton coming out on the better end of the deal, and Briggs Danner still sitting outside.
Moose Racing number 92 going to haul to the back straightaway. Danner now going to work in the 4K to try to get back in a transfer spot here as they work into turns 3 and 4. Takes it wide into 3, tries to bring it low at the exit to number 4. Has a run on Kayla Rail this time. He will have it. Drop the 4K back into semi-feature territory. The one of Nate Shank is up front. It continues to be the 2B of Cale Drake leading the way. Calderwood still running in 2nd with Charles Davis Jr. breathing down his neck, and he's about to have Stockton there as well.
Charles Davis Jr. to the inside of Logan Calderwood. A little bit of contact, but we're going to keep them all straight so far on the straightaway. That lets Chase Stockton by 2.
Calderwood losing 2 spots there at the exit turn number 4. Charles Davis makes his way by Stockton up into the 3rd spot. Boy, Stockton absolutely running here as he makes his way into turns 3 and 4. Going to set his sights on Charles Davis this time. They'll come around to the wave of the white flag. 1 to go. Cale Drake continues to lead in 2B. Cale Drake's night off to a infinitely better start than what we saw yesterday here after that hard contact with the wall. Works onto the back straightaway for the final time here in K1 Race Gear Heat Race number 2. He'll work through turns 3 and 4. Checkered flag going to come out for the Collinsville, Oklahoma driver. He'll pick up the win in K1 Race Gear Heat Race number 2. Cale Drake gets it done. Charles Davis Jr. in 2nd. Chase Stockton in 3rd. Logan Calderwood in 4th. And Briggs Danner in the 5th and final transfer spot. Rel, Shank, and Irvin unofficially rounding out your field. But your winner, ladies and gentlemen, he's out of Collinsville, Oklahoma, driving the penalty Farms, Bennick Enterprises, Honest Abe Roofing, Claxton, DRC number 2B race fans. Give him a hand, Cale Drake. Charles Davis Jr. in 2nd. Chase Stockton, final time by, was the quickest driver of the race. They had that thing set to kill.
Don't count him out. I'll say that much.
Logan Calderwood in 4th, Briggs Danner in 5th. Kayla Rail, Nate Shank, and Nate Irvin, again unofficially rounding out your field. USACgear.com heat race number 3, going to make its way out to the racing surface. They'll begin to parade to the front straightaway. Toyota Racing Development pace truck going to come to a stop over turn number 1, and we'll find Colby Simpson at Bonham, Texas, in the Beatown Automotive Canada DRC number 21K on the pole of this one. Outside of him, the 93 AU, Travis Miller out of Victoria, Australia, driving the GT HVAC and electrical. King Fiberglass, Miller Power DRC chassis number 93. Next row from the inside will be Ricky Lewis out of Oxnard, California, the physical medicine consultants, Missing Valley Transportation, Sinson DRC number 41, and next to him, in 69 is going to be Nick Bilby out of Indianapolis, Indiana, the Tom Hoffman Construction, Bilby Hoffman Motorsports, Carl LaFerry Trucking and Demolition, number 69. Originally scheduled to go to the inside of run number 3, Logan Seavey out of Southern California, the Mount Mechanical Contractors, Drop Light, Indy Power Sports, Carrington Homes, number 57. That should now... Kyle Cummins now going to go from that position. He's out of Princeton, Indiana. The Avante windows and doors. Stanton Muckman chassis number 3P. The 45 in of Troy Carey now going to the outside of the third row. He's out of Tullamore, South Australia, driving the Supos Claxon Ripper. Yoss Valley Waste Services number 45 in, and the 57 is CV now going to line up all by himself at the tail end of the field. Getting word the 16K has scratched. Again, as you remember back in Honest Abe Roofing qualifying, biked up over in turns 3 and 4 and went for a pretty vicious ride.
Yeah, so all the well wishes to Colin Parker after that one and Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. And, of course, Logan Seavey having some issues. I thought there might have been something awry during Dirt Draft Hot Laps and Honest Abe Roofing qualifying for the 57. But going to the backup car for them and going to serve that penalty here in USACgear.com heat race number 3. Now's the time. If you're going to have to go to the tail of an event, you want to do it as early in the night as possible.
Yeah, and the good thing is that penalty doesn't follow you throughout the night. It's not like you lost your time. You're just having to go to the tail end of the next event that you're in. Then you're able to race your way on. You keep your time. The lineup kind of resets itself from there. Real quick, let's go to Drake.
And you guys bring up Logan Seavey going to that backup car. Ask some crew members of Abacus Racing why the switch. And sounds like more or less it was a Logan Seavey decision. He told the crew guys as soon as he pulled in after Honest Abe Roofing qualifying, bring down the backup car. And I know there was an attempt to get that engine out of the car they started the night with back into this race car. Not sure if that actually went through, but Logan Seavey, nonetheless, like you guys said, going to have to roll from the back here in USACgear.com heat race number 3.
Yeah, and that's an important distinction to make, and there's often confusion about that. Going to a backup car, so different chassis, renders that penalty of going to the tail of the next event. Swapping motors, no penalty for that. But there's often not enough time to get all of that work done in between events, especially without a support class here tonight.
And these guys, they're quick on an engine change. We've seen them do it in less than 10 minutes. But again, like you said, you don't have a support class. It's different when we have modifieds here. You know, you have a little bit of time. You can go and swap that stuff around. But in this case, a lot easier to just go ahead and swap the cars.
Yeah, so as long as the 57, Logan Seavey, puts himself in a transfer position, so that'll be top 5 here in USACgear.com heat race number 3. The rest of his night will revert back to normal.
Laying down a solid time during Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. Again, remember, in the feature event, the first 3 rows are your 6 fastest transferring drivers out of the heat races inverted by time, and then your heat race winners line up behind them. Toyota Racing Development pace truck will speed away from the field here as they will be shown the furrowed flag and the caution lights just about ready to shut off here. Looking for the green next time out of turn number 4. Again, the NOS Energy Star Can, the starting point for these drivers, needing them to be as even as possible when they get to that point. Once the front row hits that point, it's game on.
And I was just looking at Ricky Lewis thinking about his opportunity here to pick up a heat race win and improve a starting position later on in the night. And Drake had talked about how growing up on the West Coast, you get a lot of big racetracks, but they don't often look like Terre Haute does tonight.
No, about the only thing I could think of that would kind of compare to Terre Haute in terms of size would have been the former Manzanita Speedway. As we go to green here, off into turns 1 and 2, Lewis going to stick down to the bottom, going to bobble just a little bit there, and the challenge for the lead. Millett to the outside, Going to go and put the RPM to it. Has a run of the 21K. Kobe Simpson off into turns 3 and 4 as it is chaos from second on back. And the 41's going to take that runner-up spot here. Can he come around to grab the lead on the opening lap? Not quite. Milla's going to lead the way.
Your Amsoil USAC National Sprint Car points leader Kyle Cummins up into the 3rd spot. Saw an opportunity to get by Kobe Simpson there and did so. Is now Logan Seavey going to do the same thing. He's looking to the inside of the 21K, but there Nick Bilby takes up that space.
Through turns 3 and 4, the 21K going to look to the bottom, trying to get back by the 69 here, round to the front straightaway as the wheels stand and a new leader. Here comes the 41 of Ricky Lewis. Got as they work off into turns 1 and 2. Milla tries to his inside, nothing happening there, bounces the car a little bit, and that's going to open the door for the 3P of Kyle Cummins. He will blow the doors off of the 93 in the back straightaway.
So Logan Seavey, meanwhile, around the 21K of Kobe Simpson. He now sits within a transfer spot. So the 57 back into a transfer spot for Logan Seavey as Ricky Lewis comes around to complete lap number 5.
Lewis leading in 41, Cummins in 2nd, Milla in 3rd, Bilby in 4th, Seavey in 5th, Simpson and Carey. Right now, round out your running order. Kyle Cummins, who had really closed in on Ricky Lewis last time around, had the weight on the car a little bit at the exit of turns at 3 and 4. That's going to allow Lewis to really pull away as he is hanging the Hoosiers nearly halfway down the front straightaway on that 41. Incredible forward bite at the exit. Turn number 4 just turned the quickest lap of the race as we got 4 in and 4 to go.
Nick Bilby had started 4th. He's up to 3rd now. Just got around Travis Milla, and now he runs the top side of the racetrack in turns number 3 and 4, trying to close that ground between himself and Kyle Cummins. He's carrying a lot of speed down the front stretch.
Milla trying to race his way into his first feature event of the week as the 57 of Logan Seavey works by. He'll take over that 4th spot. Milla, his best run so far has been a 5th in the Elliott's Custom Trailers and Carts semi-feature event twice at Lawrenceburg and last night at Circle City. So trying to race his way into the show here as they come around. It'll be 2 to go. Ricky Lewis continues to lead. Kyle Cummins last time by, improving with the best lap of the race and did close in on the 41 a little bit. He still trails by a little over a second, though, as they work into turns 3 and 4. White flag set to come out this time.
Turns 1 and 2, Ricky Lewis hugging the inside guardrail. Turns 3 and 4, you're starting to see guys start to enter a little bit higher in turn number 3. So the track beginning to widen out, and that means we're going to see a lot more passing as the night goes forward.
You know, earlier in the night, we saw drivers, well, really in the first 2 heat races that were going in and entering the top of 1 and then cutting down across at the exit turn number 2. But the track ever changing here as we work through heat race competition. As USACgear.com heat race number 3 about to be in the books. And you can close the tab on this one. It's going to be the 41 of Ricky Lewis grabbing the win. Kyle Cummins in 2nd, Nick Bilby, Logan Seavey, and for the first time all week, Travis Milla going on into a feature event. Kobe Simpson, Troy Carey unofficially rounding out your field. But your winner, ladies and gentlemen, he's out of Oxnard, California, driving the Superior Tank and Trailer, physical medicine consultants, Massive Valley Transportation. Morris Farms, number 41, race fans, give him a hand, Ricky Lewis. Kyle Cummins in 2nd, Nick Bilby in 3rd, Logan Seavey in 4th, Travis Milla in 5th, Kobe Simpson and Troy Carey. Unofficially rounding out your field in 7th, the 16K of Colin Parker, a scratch out of heat race number 3. Cookout Heat Race number 4 next on the program. Again, 8 times around, finding 5 more drivers to race directly into your feature event. And the driver on the poles from up the road in Plainfield, Indiana, driving the C&D Rigging, Gressman-powered sled chassis, Steve Beitler Yacht Charters, Massive Valley Transportation, Hellraiser Jacks number 6R. It's going to be Bill Rose. Outside of him, you'll find Joey Amanti at Mount Pocono, Pennsylvania, the J.P. Mason Amanti Real Estate, Area 54, number 88J. Next row for the inside, Brandon Maddox. He's from here in town. The Maddox Heating and Cooling, Gressman DRC, Newman Motorsports Pro Source number 28. And from the 4th starting spot, you'll find C.J. Leary at Greenfield, Indiana. The Curb Records, Kodiak Products, One-Way DRC Chassis number 21AZ. 5th starter and 5 is going to be Jake Swanson at Anaheim, California. Driving the Inland Rigging, Snake Enterprises, One-Way DRC number 5T. It's going to be Jake Swanson. And next to him, driver to Coleman, Alabama, the Inferno Armor Majestic Electric Factory Cane Eddie Gilstrap Motors number 3R of Kevin Thomas Jr. Final starter set to be Eric Gentry at Robards, Kentucky, the Gene Nick Construction England Machine and Tool Spec DRC number 10. As that'll be your scheduled lineup again for Cookout Heat Race number 4. 8 laps, 5 more moving on into your feature event. Everybody else is going to find themselves in your Elliott's Custom Trailers and Carts semi-feature event. So 32 checking in. 2 have so far scratched from competition. The other driver, Travis Thompson, who had problems during Dirt Draft Hot Laps and the Always Heating and Cooling. Thompson built DRC number 7. Unfortunately, will not be able to make an appearance here in heat race number 4. Drake.
Brian, just
What?
wanted to talk about Joey Amantia, slated to roll from the outside of the front row here in your 4th and final heat race of the evening. Between Honest Abe Roofing qualifying and the heat races, they actually fired that car back in the pits. Briefly got a chance to talk to Joey. He said they had a slight issue with the magneto, but all is good well now on that 88 car. But reminder, that was kind of the reason they were out yesterday too. They had issues with the ignition on that race car too, Brian. So hopefully that's not something carrying over from yesterday into today. Once again, he's slated to roll from the outside of the front row here in heat race number 4.
Don't forget, if you haven't done so, to swing back into Merchandise Row behind the grandstands. Of course, the USAC merchandise trailer is back there, and all manner of driver apparel, hats, T-shirts, hoodies, all kinds of great stuff available down there. Of course, after the races, we'll open up the pit area. You can go down, and you can also meet the drivers, go down, get an autograph. And drivers like Chase Stockin, they keep their T-shirts back there. So just some of the drivers you can go back and also show your support here tonight.
Yeah, and a lot of those teams will hang out for a little while afterward. Most of them have some adult beverages after things are all said and done at the end of the night. So a good time to go down there and meet some of those teams and drivers.
The only thing I wish we had was a zip line system, so I could grab a complimentary can of NOS Zero.
Wouldn't that be nice?
That'd be lovely.
I can see the tent from here.
Which is like waving candy in front of a diabetic. Last call for your 50-50 tickets. Again, you don't win if you don't play, so last call to purchase your 50-50 tickets. A cool, overcast day here in Terre Haute, Indiana, and what's turning out to be a really cool-looking sunset.
Yeah, normally about this time in the evening, especially during this time of year, we've got a pretty brutal sunset in turns number 3 and 4, which oftentimes impacts these heat races. Not the case today, so I'm sure everybody breathing a sigh of relief for that.
Yeah, normally they are just glaring into that sun down the back straightaway. Racing in circles just a few miles from the shores of the Wabash. As we get ready to go to green here in Cookout Heat Race number 4, Bill Rose, Joey Mantia, row number 1, Brandon Maddox, CJ Lear, row number 2, Jake Swanson, Kevin Thomas Jr., row number 3, and Eric Gentry. Set to round out your field. Round of the NOS Energy start can. Rose, the throttle is not quite bloomed on that machine yet. Brings it all the way to the exit turn number 4. And here we go. Cookout Heat Race number 4 is underway.
That slow pace to the start lets Joey Mantia get out in front of the field, so he's got a pretty good lead, but there comes CJ Leary off the bottom in turn number 2.
Boy, Leary wasting no time. The high side, nice and clear for him to jump up into second. Tried the bottom in turns 1 and 2. Nothing happening there. Goes to the high side in turns 3 and 4. Leaves the door open for Kevin Thomas Jr. The haze off of the right rear. That's not smoke. They're steaming them out there as they make their way out into turns 1 and 2. 3-car fight for the race lead. Amantia holding off the charge of a pair of USAC veterans. Leary down to the inside with the run. The curb records. Curb-Agajanian number 21 AZ. He'll take over the top spot. Kevin Thomas Jr. quickly up into second.
Diamond maneuver out of the 21 AZ. Kevin Thomas Jr. gets it rotated on the bottom side of the racetrack. He's got to run at the lead.
Thought he was maybe going to have it to the front straightaway, but Leary finding an incredible drive there at the high side, exiting turn number 4. Oh, look out, Kevin Thomas, a little bit too low. Caught some of that excess moisture that continues to remain lingering there. Shot him up the racetrack, and Leary going to get a sigh of relief there as they work into turns 3 and 4. But Kevin Thomas holds on to that second position. Jake Swanson, in the meantime, has reeled him into that third spot. Swanson in the 5 from 5th. Leary from 4th to lead. The 3R from 6th to 2nd. So they are moving all over the place here in Cookout Heat Race number 4. Jake Swanson going to go to the attack on the inside with a run. He's got 2nd to the back straightaway.
Looks like as the racetrack continues to widen out, the bottom side may be becoming trickier and trickier to run perfectly, but Jake Swanson going to go to around the 3R. Now he's in 2nd, searching for CJ Leary in 1st.
A little bit further back, Brandon Maddox was a little sideways there at the exit of turn number 4, the 28, riding that final transfer spot right now. Bill Rose, Eric Gentry currently rounding out your running order, but CJ Leary continues to lead, fresh off of the Circle City victory. Last time by, led by just shy of a second. Swanson still running in the runner-up position right now. Kevin Thomas Jr. running in 3rd. Joey Manson running in 4th. Brandon Maddox in 5th. Bill Rose, Eric Gentry continuing to round out your field. Maddox in the 28, trying to reel in the 88J of Joey Amantia. He's made a few car links up on him, though. The time is waning in this one. We'll have 2 to go.
Brandon Maddox from right here in Terre Haute, Indiana, right now has a ticket to the big show tonight for night number 6 of Indiana Sprint Week.
Another driver who, up until last night, had not raced into a feature event here during Indiana Sprint Week. Ended up 22nd last night behind the wheel of that number 28. So trying to keep the 8-man appearances going here as they come around to the wave of the white flag. Final trip on the half mile for CJ Leary, the Greenfield, Indiana driver. Going to work patiently onto the back straightaway. Masks the throttle off into turns 3 and 4. Continues to grow his advantage. It's nearly 2 seconds now as he works through the final 2 sets of turns and onto the front straightaway. Checker flag going to drop in this one, and C.J. Leary going to get the job done here in Cookout Heat Race number 4. Jake Swanson in 2nd, Kevin Thomas Jr. in 3rd. Joey Mann taking across in 4th, and Brandon Maddox, your top 5. Bill Rose, Eric Gentry unofficially rounding out your field. So your winner, ladies and gentlemen, he's out of Greenfield, Indiana. Drove the Curb Records, Kodiak Products, Oakcraft Elegant Cabinetry, Apache Transport, Team Arizona, Quebec, race number 21AZ. Race fans, give him a hand. C.J. Leary. Jake Swanson in 2nd, Kevin Thomas Jr. in 3rd, Joey Mantia, Brandon Maddox, Bill Rose, and Eric Gentry. Again, rounding out your field. Is that a wrap-up heat race action here tonight for the USAC Gainesville Sprint Car National Championship? 5 drivers out of each of our heat races have locked themselves into the show. As coming up here in just a little bit, we'll bring our heat race winners down into victory lane. We'll get a word with them, but we'll have a little bit of track prep in the meantime. So the water truck going to come out and will not lay down